Hey everyone, welcome to ServiceNow Knowledge 24 in Las Vegas. We're actually wrapping up a fabulous 3 days here. I have the pleasure of having Megan Moore, who is the Vice President of Global Partner Marketing, to join me. And we just want to chat, Megan, about what we saw, what we heard, what happened here this week.
Well, my brain is going to explode, Larry. I think it has been maybe one of the most effective 4 days of my working career here with what I've heard in the last 4 days.
Well, okay, what's the big standout? Because there was 20,000 or so people here. There was endless conversations, a full agenda of presentations. What was the thing that stood out to you?
What stood out to me was the prevalence of partners within the show. So I've been at a lot of industry conferences. Obviously, I've been at a lot of companies that put on these conferences. Partners are usually set at the back of the expo floor, and you have to kind of work your way through the expo to find them. They were integrated everywhere in this conference. I mean, you walk on the show floor, and the way that the layout was, you could flow around and meet all the partners. Absolutely everywhere. The content that we had, there was partners integrated in all of that. It was astounding to me how front and center they were, and the key message coming from all of our executives that these aspirations we have for $15-20 billion will not be achieved without the help of the ecosystem.
That came across. Bill McDermott was a bit subtle in the way that he presented it during his keynote, and by subtle I mean energetic. It really was.
I was like, Bill, subtle? No.
No, but it was. I think that there was one thing that was abundantly clear, is that ServiceNow, you've pivoted to position yourself as a platform company. You're not just an application. And that there is a true acknowledgement of the power of your ecosystem, but not just the power of it, but also a dependency on it. And I think Erica Volini spoke about this a number of times, is that I think I love her quote, that you could do none of this without your partners.
It's absolutely true. And let's talk about what you heard this week, Larry. You have been so great sitting in on all the keynotes, sitting in on our sessions. You've roamed around the floor talking to our partners. Yeah. What are the things that stand out to you? First of all, you did this great thing about the top 3 things you're hearing about our ecosystems. Let's talk through that.
Yeah, so let's start with what the partners were saying. And I think I talked to a couple of dozen of them. And the level of commitment to the ServiceNow vision was apparent in all the conversations, is that they were really bought into not just the opportunity, but also into the direction that ServiceNow is going in, what you're doing to enable them, what you're doing to support them. And there's a reinvestment tone to it as well, is that they're reciprocating. They know that they have to buy into this, and they see the opportunity to collaborate. And I think that that's one of the things that really stood out, is that your partners understand for the ecosystem to work, they actually have to put effort into it. This is not a build it and they will come. The 3 takeaways was that you have to collaborate. You have to actually set out to understand what you're doing and leverage each other's strengths to offset weaknesses. And then you have to have clarity. What is the intent, or what is the purpose of working together? And then you have to have the confidence of building up trust. And to have that level of definition about what it takes to make this work is really refreshing to hear, particularly coming from the partners. And even the way that ServiceNow categorizes your partners into the resell and the consulting and implementation partners and the service providers, and into the build or the ISV partners that come in, they all understand this. They all understand what it is that you want them to do. And
absolutely.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, and I have had several partner conversations this week, and on average, we're hearing stats like 30 to 40% lead lift from last year alone. We're hearing partners tell us that the attention that they're getting, and the resources, and the simplicity of how we're offering programs and initiatives out to them has been fantastic. So to your point, I'm seeing partners go way more in with us. I'm seeing a lot more strategic conversations with partners, and we're talking about how do we really get to that C-suite? How do we do very focused activities that are targeted right at the accounts that they want to go to, and very much industry focused as well. So we're getting a lot more clarity on where we're headed.
Well, I want to touch on what you just said about industry focus. When you come to an event like this, you expect to learn something new. I still, I remember when we only thought of ServiceNow as ITSM, as service management or operations management, the stuff that happens in the data centers or in the support centers. I mean, you're more than that now. You're much more than that. the thing that I walked away from attending Knowledge 24 is this thought, and it's not fully formed, but a thought that we have to rethink the definition of partnerships.
Yes.
That there's a more strategic and more intentful purpose behind your peer or your alliance partnerships where you have these technical integrations. There is a greater depth of knowledge you're tapping into with your consulting and implementation partners. And it stems from, and I kept hearing this in conversation, it stems from this that you're not selling to the CIO, or exclusively I should say, is that obviously you are, but you're not selling to them exclusively. You're selling to the head of HR, you're selling to the head of operations.
That's right.
You're going through and digitally transforming everything about the business, which is, this is radical in my mind, is that we've always talked about vertical specializations, but this feels a lot different because of the level of collaboration that has to happen in order to make these systems work.
Yeah, we talk about it as persona marketing, right? Like, who are you actually trying to target? And even from a marketing standpoint, we're going into very personalized conversations and targeting exactly who we need to in those accounts and giving them the message that they need to solve whatever business issue they're having. And it's a very different conversation than we've had before. And everybody is looking at C-suite as the place to start those conversations. Start at the C-suite because you get a much bigger deal, it's much broader, and to your point, we can sell across that entire portfolio of the entire customer landscape.
Well, are the partners looking to that from you? I mean, you are the one driving the marketing message for partners, the resources for them. What are they asking you for to facilitate that?
Well, the best thing about it is that they're not necessarily asking us for all of it, but they want to collaborate with it, just as you said. Very, conversations with a lot of intent around putting the joint messaging together. Start at the very top. What is the thought leadership or the joint message that we have together at the very, the 50,000 foot level, and then start clicking through the assets below and how we activate that for them. And so it's been great conversations about, having them differentiated to make sure we go to market together in the best way, and doing it together. So whether it's co-investment, whether it's co-branding, whether we're doing, an event together, or offering them a lot of assets that they can take out on their own. It's definitely a holistic marketing offering.
Yeah. I would feel remiss if we didn't talk about this, is that Eric Volini, who has been driving a lot of the partnership transformation for ServiceNow, she gave a keynote in the expo hall this morning. The really big thing that stood out in addition to her message was that she had a packed house. She had a couple of hundred, and I want to emphasize this, for somebody who talks partnerships all day, she had a couple of hundred customers sitting in front of her.
Yes.
And I thought that was remarkable to have the customers actually be drawn in on that. But even more so, listening to Erica walk them through the value of your partners and your ecosystem. It was really refreshing to see that type of direction being given, to say, no, you don't just need to talk with us, you need to talk with these partners and explain to them what the roles and the capabilities of the different types of partners you have.
Well, it's phenomenal, right? This is the first company I've been at, and I've been at a lot of companies, where the company is actually allowing the channel chief to come in and speak directly to our customers about, here's when you would use a partner, here's why you would use them. This is the value that they can bring to you, not just from implementation, but from the very beginning of that whole buying journey. And I just think it's extraordinary.
Yeah. I think it's not just that. When you look at your partner locator, she walked through a demo for your customers. Like, this is where you go to find the partners, and this is how you qualify them. This is how you screen them. This is what these things mean to them. I was like, you go and look at other companies' partner locators, they're basically just directories. They're little more than a phone book. The level of investment that she talks about frequently is real. There's a lot of things, and that's just a small piece of what ServiceNow has done with its partner community.
But I think what's so great is with Erica coming in, she calls herself a transformation junkie, and that's exactly what she is. She's coming in and flipping everything on its head, breaking glass, and we're not following the rules of what a typical channel ecosystem might put in place. But she's saying, what is it going to make faster, simpler, easier for partners to come in and do business with us? And now, how do we make it easier for customers to find those partners and just make it happen and accelerate that whole deal cycle? Yeah. And the partner finder or partner locator is a great example. To your point, small demo on stage of what it looks like, but it's all powered by Gen AI so that customers come in and say, here's the type of customer I want, here's my business problem, here's where I'm located, what I need, and it will instantly match you up with a partner and send you on your way.
I think even more than that is that she even exposed to the customers what we would typically call channel code means. Like, okay, this is what the tier means, this is what the certification means, this is what, and I'm sitting there going, okay, this is the stuff we don't talk about in front of customers. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
So Megan, you've had a great Knowledge 24. I mean, I think that this has been universally well received. So it is going to raise the bar for 25. So what do you think you have to do for next year?
I say bring it on is what the 3 words I would give to you, because we are going to go, more acceleration in the ecosystem. We're going to put more resources at it. We're going to continue to push the partner message internally. We're going to continue to let our customers know the value that they bring. Because again, we have a dream, as Bill calls it, of $20 billion by 2026. And so we need to activate everything we can internally to be able to hit those numbers.
Fantastic. Megan, thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Great to be here.